Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here, weatherweb.net. Thanks again for watching. It is Friday the 15th of February. Hope all is okay with you this morning. Been quite a nice start to the morning across much of the country. As always, weatherweb.net kept free of charge by you coming back and viewing the charts and viewing the videos here, and also using the adverts that you see around the screen. That's what keeps us free of charge, because the more you come back, the more adverts we can show you. That's what generates the revenue, so thank you for doing that. Now, I'm going to put together a major update on the spring forecast in a wee while. It's not making very good news, I'm afraid. It doesn't look to be particularly fantastic, but more of that in the other video that will be online as under the featured channel. That'll be online later, but we'll concentrate on the shorter term for now, and things look like they are going to become cooler during the next week. Now, remember me talking about this transition period from about the 15th through to the 22nd of February. Well, that transition period looks as if it is going to happen, but it is going to become increasingly cold. And you see here from the GFS temperature charts, this fall off in temperature, look, particularly it looks like being from next Tuesday or next Wednesday that we see that kind of second dip in temperature. Also interesting to note as well is the increased rainfall, the green bars there during the back end of next week, Friday, Saturday, showing us the threat of some snow coming across the southern and eastern parts of the country. Detail very hard to pick out, as is the confidence that it will happen, but I think what we can have confidence in is that it looks as if the next week, or near enough the next week, across many areas is going to be generally dry, but then we could find some snow affecting more southern parts of the country. And this is the total rainfall for the next week. This, let me just take you back a couple of days. This is the total rainfall up to 6 AM on Friday morning, and you can see here, look, that much of England and Wales and eastern Scotland seeing no rainfall at all according to the models, and that looks perfectly reasonable. You know, there might be a trace here and there. That's not to say there won't be bits and pieces of drizzle around, but it looks as if it will be mainly dry. Coming onto these eastern coasts, we do have some cloud that just feeds in, and that brings some drizzle or some light rain at times, but only 2 or 3 millimetres at the most during the next week. And you can see even for western parts of Scotland and Ireland too, here we are generally dry thanks to high pressure. But right at the very end of the forecast period here, we do start to see this area of precipitation moving in from the east. This is what the GFS is picking up on as a potential for an area of snow. Now, when that snow arrives is open to question at the moment. It looks like it's sometime back end of next week, and most of the models are agreeing on that scenario. So this is the pressure chart for today. We've got high pressure built through us during today. Look, bits and pieces of rain are going to be spreading up the western coast of Ireland and into the west of Scotland, I think, overnight tonight and into Saturday. But generally you see this high just lingering. This is the chart for tomorrow. High pressure's in here. We've got low pressure in there, look. Bits and pieces of rain affecting western coast, Wales, western Scotland particularly, but many central and eastern areas tend to stay on the dry side. Then we keep the high pressure with us through tomorrow into Sunday as well. We stay dry as well. The flow, as this area of low pressure tends to turn more into the southeast as this area of low pressure moves its way eastwards. Our high by Sunday afternoon centred out here, but still it's not going to be a bad weekend. It looks like being relatively mild, and also it is going to be staying dry. Then into Monday. On Monday what we're going to find is high pressure still present towards the east of the country, but you can see the flow coming around more and more towards the east, and as that flow sets in during Tuesday, I think what we will find is temperatures tending to feel cooler as that easterly flow kicks in. Also, I think we're going to find some low cloud kind of in here, which will spread its way westwards. That may bring some drizzle, but you'll notice there isn't actually any persistent rain on there, so at least some drying out, although I don't think it's going to be particularly dry in terms of humidity, so not great drying weather, but at least it's not raining on top of what we've already got. I think certainly for western parts of Scotland, western parts of Wales, parts of southwest England, that's where the best of any sunshine will be, and that's where it's going to be dry. Then into Wednesday of next week, the easterly flow's still there, and you'll notice, look, it's starting to bring this low cloud and drizzle down these eastern coasts. It'll be through the Midlands, across southwest England as well, just low cloud, low stratus cloud in there with drizzle at times and feeling cold too, but no persistent rain of any sort. Then we get into Thursday. Look, it's still building this idea that we got low cloud across many areas, an increasing northeast wind by then, you'll notice. Bits and pieces of drizzle across central and eastern areas, western parts still seeing the best of the sunshine. And then through next Friday into Saturday, look, we start to develop this area of more persistent precipitation, which will come in as rain, sleet and probably more likely snow across East Anglia and southern parts of the country. Best of the sunshine still western Scotland, western parts of Wales and Ireland. That's where it will stay driest as well, but drizzle affecting those eastern coasts. So it looks like we have got a fair amount of dry weather ahead. Now the 7 to 10 day mean of the 500 millibar flow from the ECMWF on the left here, the GFS on the right. This goes forward from next Friday through to Monday the 25th. And what you'll notice here, look, on the ECMWF and on the GFS, here's the jet stream pushed way south of the country with lower than normal heights down to the south. This block still in up towards the north, and it's the same on the GFS. There's the jet, and here up here towards the north is the block, and that gives us good confidence in the idea of this scenario persisting. Good confidence between the models as to how things develop. So this emphasis on dry weather looks to be there, but then breaking down towards the south, that's where the cooler and settled weather that I've been predicting looks as if it's going to come in. Let's just take a look at which one do we want here. We'll take a look at the Canadian, and the Canadian I think probably has it best in the medium range, so going out to 10 days ahead. This is the Canadian, and this is from midnight last night. So if we just go forward in 12-hour steps, what you'll see here as we go forwards is the high pressure developing out towards the east here. Look, there it is during the early part of next week. Then it slips away towards the east, and the Canadian were the first ones to pick up on this idea of the low developing down towards the south as the trough goes in, strengthening up that easterly flow. Look, and you notice here these bluer colours coming in next Thursday into next Friday. That's more unstable air aloft. Look, got a cold pool that moves west through France. This again predicting snow across southern parts of England and drizzle across the east, but keeping the west drier. Also the isobars close together showing the strong wind. So good indication there that this breakdown happens back end of next week. I've still got a question over whether it's Thursday or Friday, but this idea the breakdown in the south happens late on during next week looks to be gathering strength. And then the high stays with us through next weekend into the following week, and we stay with this cold easterly flow. Although then look what happens out here in the Atlantic. This could be the feature that blasts through and brings the more unsettled conditions across the southern half of the UK to end February and the beginning of March, but keeps us on the cool side, although the high would get squeezed towards the north and would probably keep Scotland, Northern Ireland, parts of Northern England on the drier side. So I think we've got some distinct periods of weather in here. We've got kind of from the 15th through to the 20th, well, probably up to about the 22nd is this transition into gradually cooler conditions but dry. Then we've got the 23rd probably through to around about the 25th, which would go into more wintry conditions in the south but drier up towards the north. And then from about the 25th, 26th onwards through to the early part of March, more unsettled, cool, probably damp in the south, near normal rainfall totals there, but dry and cool across Scotland, but cool generally everywhere. Okay, now that's that for the short term. I'm going to take you forwards through the spring in the video that's coming out later. As I say, don't hold out too much hope for it. It's not exactly the jolliest forecast that you'll see, but I guess we've got to live with what we've got given, haven't we, really, you know, and make the most of it. I know it's not going to be good news for many of you, particularly after last year, but all I can do is tell you the information as I see it. So once again, thanks for watching weatherweb.net. Don't forget, we're kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen and by you coming back and using the site. So thank you for doing that. You can follow us on Twitter at Weather School, or do a search on Facebook for Weather School. So once again, thanks for watching and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.